Now we get on to liquids. If I were to ask you, give me some examples of liquids, and you give so many of them. Like we have water, which is a very common example of a liquid we come across every day. We have cooking oil, it's a liquid. Then we have milk. We have juices that we drink. These are all liquids. Or a soft drink that we have. These are all liquids. Let's discuss the properties of liquids. Now here I have about, say, 50 ml of water in a beaker. Okay, this is a 50 ml of water. I put it in a beaker. Now from this beaker, which is of the shape here, this beaker is of this shape, I now transfer this water into another glass tumbler. And now the water takes the shape of this glass tumbler here. It takes the shape of the glass tumbler. Now after some time, I take the same water and I pour it into a conical flask. Now the water has taken the shape of the conical flask. It's the same water, the same 50 ml of water. It has taken the shape of the conical flask. And I go one step further and I put it now into a flat bottom flask. And now as I put it in a flat bottom flask, it takes the shape of the flat bottom flask. But however, here it is not filled completely, because probably the capacity of this flat bottom glass flask is much more. So what have we noticed here? Here we had 50 ml of water. Here too it is same 50 ml of water. Here again it's 50 ml of water, and here again is 50 ml of water. So the volume of water has remained the same. So the first thing we can say, the liquids have a fixed volume. What about the shape? If you notice here, we've seen this was the one shape of a beaker, then it took the shape of a tumbler in this case here. Here it took the shape of a conical flask, and here it took the shape of this round bottom flask. So do we say that do liquids have a fixed shape? No, they don't. They do not have a fixed shape. They do not have a fixed shape, but they take the shape of the container. So they take the shape of the container. And the third property will be that liquids flow. And because liquids, they flow easily, I could transfer this liquid from one beaker to another. Then I poured it from this tumbler to the flask, and from this to the round bottom flask, is because liquids flow easily. So we have three properties of liquids. One is it has a fixed volume. The volume does not change. Remember, when you buy 1 liter of milk, it remains 1 liter of milk. If you put it in a big container, it does not become 2 liters of milk. It stays 1 liter of milk in whichever container you put. But however, liquids do not have a fixed shape. If you put your milk in a round container, it takes the shape of a round container. If you take the same milk, you put it in a glass, it takes the shape of your glass. If that milk is then put in a flat dish, it takes the shape of the flat dish. So it takes the shape of the container, and it flows easily. That is easy to understand. Even this liquid, if I were to pour it on the floor, it would just spill about and flow so easily around the place. So here is another property, or the same property of liquids. We see the liquids flow and change shape. So they are not rigid. They can be called fluid because they flow. Liquids flow, and hence they are called fluids.